Hello everybody, today is March the 27th I think, 2021, and I just thought I'd share with you a small update and some thoughts I've had about this coming year and generally. It's about 12-13 degrees today, and there are just a few bees coming in and out in sort of twos and threes. Earlier, when the sun was shining, it was quite lively at the hive entrance, but this chill breeze I think is a little bit prohibitive for them. A friend treated me to this thermometer, which has been excellent. The top figure on it, which I'll go into in just a second, basically gives the temperature inside the hive. It's not right in the centre, but it's on the very edge, just past the divider board. And the temperature below, at the very bottom, the small figure, is the temperature outside now. Also, the middle figure is the humidity, which is actually 99% inside the hive. That's a little bit worrying, I think. However, I think I've just tilted the hive forward a little bit. I've ensured that the ventilation is as good as it can be. I haven't got anything covering anything. So I hope that'll be okay, but it'll remain to be seen. There you can see it a little more closely. So you can see it's a good degree warmer inside the hive. Almost 2 degrees actually. Sometimes it goes to about 5 degrees warmer. This year I'm going to really take the opportunity to learn as much as I can, and in a much more focused way than I have done previously. I have revisited this fabulous book, which is a popular favourite, and rightly so at the moment, both in terms of what it offers practically, but also the way that it just completely conveys the total joy of beekeeping with a lay-hens hive in a natural way. So if you haven't read this, I really recommend it. But also in terms of practicality, this is great. It's both a full read through, but also has a good sort of index and contents, so that you can sort of go to the bit that you need at the time. So again, that's really well worth it. This is a particularly lovely copy of mine, as inside it, I'm showing off now, I have look, Dr. Leo signed it for me when he came to Monmouth, so that really is one of my my prized treasures. But I really wanted today to talk about the issue of learning and really what you learn. Particularly, I found on YouTube the lectures by Lynfa Davis. That's Lynfa Davis. That's a Welsh name. If the spelling sounds a little bit odd to people not in Wales, but her lectures are fantastic. If I felt that I wanted to know a little bit more about the science, for example, the role of drones, or bee behavior and things like that, and she presents such clear and incisive presentations. Her lectures are just brilliant. So if you can find those, they're really worth watching in my opinion. But unfortunately, as I've opened out the whole world of beekeeping education, I have come across a very disappointing aspect of it, the way in which people are continually being told that you shouldn't keep bees by beekeepers. So, for example, it's that continuing message that there's so much to do and it's very complicated and you're going to need lots of help, you're going to need lots of time, so really for the likes of you should probably not even start thinking about it. And this message comes across quite a lot, and I can't believe that people are really being allowed to do that. I do understand that caution needs to be taken. You don't want people either mistreating bees or putting their families in danger. But then I think people should also be gently encouraged that there might be something that they could do that would give them an incredible pleasure, like it has done for me, but also to support honeybee populations. And that brings me to my main point of what I wanted to talk about today, which was that I've been most disappointed from one major beekeeping association to hear this message very strongly put out that somebody with a disability can very much forget the idea of beekeeping. I myself have a disability. It's not something I like to talk about, but with everything that I've come across in the last month, I really felt that I had to speak out about it. The reason I have decided to have a hive in my garden almost came about because of the limitations I now have on my life. I don't come across as being a disabled person, but in fact my life and my lifestyle is quite limited. And in taking that on board as something that I've had to come to terms with, I'm not going to get better, things are likely to get worse for me, that instead of perhaps mourning the loss of opportunities and adventure outside of my home, I thought, why not bring the adventure into my home? And I'd already had an interest in bees and thought perhaps this is the opportunity, that the adventure will be with bees in my own garden. And you know what? It's really brought that for me. So I felt saddened that the message was being put out there that other people like me might be put off, having been told there's really no way you can manage. With vertical hives, there's a lot more work involved, but certainly with a lay-ends hive and other horizontal hives, there's very little work to do. And when you read the books that I've just shown you, you will see that after your sort of initial learning, basically they're saying have a look into the hive, you know, once a month or something like that, and but thereafter twice a year. And perhaps you might need a tiny bit of help, but perhaps just once a month. But the main thing is, with natural beekeeping, you're largely letting the bees get on with it, so really there's nothing to do. And also I feel that the kind of beekeeper that I am, and I know there's lots of people like me out there who perhaps have 1 or 2 beehives in the garden where they have attracted a swarm, are actually probably the real savers of the bee population. We're not cultivating masses of honeybees, we're also supporting the other bees that are out there, because I'm not just a honeybeeist. I also want to make sure that the honeybees don't crowd in on the bumblebees and the other solitary bees. Last year I went to the local park, which is literally about 200 yards away from me, and spotted these beautiful bees. We've got the tawny mining bee, the ashy mining bee. In fact, I took a little video of him. He was most interesting to watch. And also a tree bumblebee. These are the other bees that I think are valuable, and I've actually approached the Bridges Centre where these pictures were taken, and asked them whether they would be interested in having a lay-ends hive in their grounds. And again, I won't be taking bees there, but in those grounds at some point in the next couple of months, I think there will be a swarm looking for a home, and my lay-ends hive just down the road could be the perfect home for a swarm looking for sanctuary. So it's not about honey farming, it's not about aggressively trying to produce honey, but basically I think perhaps we hobbyist beekeepers, and certainly ones perhaps who do have a disability, can offer even more to the bee population and general environmental balance than those who are, you know, people who've had 100 colonies. But anyway, anybody who does have a disability, then do please don't be put off, and perhaps go for a horizontal hive, and best wishes to you. Bye bye.